All right, we're in another rain delay at Kinnick Stadium and weather delay. That means you're looking at least another half-hour delay before the game gets started, maybe even possibly longer than that. We were thinking maybe an hour. Because of network restrictions, Ross and I cannot go on News Radio 1040 WHO because we are contractually bound to be part of the Learfield network. So we just can't shut the network off, do a radio show, and go with that. So what I thought I would do is try something different. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to call in and talk to Ross and I right now, you can do so at 402-543-5556. That's 402-543-5556. Now, this is going to be a little bit different, okay? Because my regular call screener, which is my son Owen, is not here. This has automatic call screening on it. You'll be able to answer the phone, leave your name, and they'll put you in hold in the queue, but speak clearly and succinctly. So when they say, what's your name? Say John or Jane or whatever. Just speak clearly so it's able to recognize your name. So we've got some artificial intelligence taking place here. You're probably wondering why it's a 402 number, not a 515 number. I happen to live in Omaha, Nebraska. Some of you may know that. Some of you may not. So this is my own little studio that I have set up here, and we're able to take your phone calls as we speak if you are interested. Again, 402-543-5556 is the number to call if you would like to give it a shot. And hopefully this works because I've never done the automatic answer before, Ross. I've always had Owen here doing it, so it's been interesting to see if this happens. So if you want to participate, you can call.
I'm intrigued. Yeah, I'm excited. This is a fun new world, man.
It is kind of a fun new world, right? What's just coming in on social media? I say, call the damn game. That's from Mike. You know what, Mike? I don't disagree with you. I could certainly understand why you feel that way. And it's listen, it's 10:30 at night, right? I mean, Ross and I we absolutely love doing WHO After Dark, but there does come a point of like no return, right? We've done the last weather delay. We did an hour right here on social media. So, which, you know what, I feel like we're getting our hours in, right? I mean, we were.
And I mean, we want to give Jethro's the love they deserve for sponsoring Sound Off and all that.
Absolutely.
And if we're only on for a little bit tonight on the radio, we want to be able to. And this is a way, Travis, we know this, man. We say this over and over. Doing Sound Off is therapeutic for us.
It is.
Hear it from listeners and from. I'm getting texts right now from listeners. What's the plan? What's happening?
Tell them to go on Facebook right now, which is the WHO Facebook page, and they can easily. And I need to retweet this on the Sound Off Twitter page because this account's not set up through there. Somebody call just so I know the phone line's working, right? Can somebody just call so I know the phone line's working?
Somebody just call the number, please. So Travis knows it works.
No, it's one of those things where I just want to make sure that it's working. I thought I was dialed in.
Ohio State squeaked past Toledo. I see last minute touchdown puts the number 3 Buckeyes in front for good. 77-21.
77-21. That's interesting.
482 pass yards, third most in school history. You know, I'll be honest. If you'd said Ohio State threw for 482 yards today, I'm not sure I would have thought that was in their top 10 of season of single games. I mean, I know that's a ridiculous amount of yards, but I mean, Ohio State's been pretty ridiculous for a while.
Pretty darn good, right?
Yeah.
And they have to go to.
As far as this game getting canceled, man, if I'm Nevada, I'm not sure I'm waving the white flag on this yet. I mean, you're down 17. Do you stick around and try? I mean, I don't know. You said also, Travis, in our last weather delay, they've got to get home. They're going to be sitting at the taxi's running on that plane. How much is that bill running up on them?
It's a good question. 402-543-5556. Let's go to Jason in Newton. Jason!
Welcome
to the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off. What's up, man?
Fellas, the phone works. The
This
number
is
works, Travis.
That's awesome.
I think they need to. Hang on for a little bit, and
Are you serious?
I think at least one more try. One more try.
Now, why are you saying one more try?
I want to see what this offense can do. I think they can do more. I think they can come out and prove that they have more to show.
But they're not going to. Not with the weather the way it is. There's no way. Now you're getting to the point where you risk injury. Now's the point where you could do something stupid.
Well, that's when you put in Padilla. Everybody's wanted
here it
it
is.
so far.
Here it is. That's what he wants. Secretly, you want Padilla, don't you?
No, I'm good either way. But I just think it's time. They've already traveled all this way to play. Let them at least have one more chance to get the game in. Otherwise, I think they could move it to tomorrow afternoon.
They're not going to play tomorrow afternoon, man. They're going to get on a plane tonight. They want to get the hell out of Iowa City because they got to drive up to Cedar Rapids and get out of there too. So,
Travis.
All right, buddy. Thanks, Jason.
Travis.
Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Jason. If this game doesn't get played to into the fourth quarter or doesn't get played to completion, is it a W on the Hawkeyes record?
I believe so. Because we're now we're in.
There's 5 minutes left in the third quarter, I think, something like that.
Yeah, I would think so. Hey, you heard Jason call. It works pretty easy. 402-543-5556. Sounds pretty good too, doesn't it?
That was great. That was very cool. Very cool. Yeah, we have a lot of sympathy coming in, Travis, for people that are like, man, it's gonna be a long night for you guys.
You know what? But we're having fun here.
All right, that's right. Yep, having fun. Gonna have fun.
He brings up a good question. Drew does. How do open bets work here? This is a whole new world for me, right? I mean, I don't really understand how these open bets are working.
That's a great question. Yeah, if you have a bet on the under today, Tony does.
Under 39.5.
Tony has a bet of pull up your app and see do you have a cash out thing that's happening right now, or is your
blocked out right now? I don't have a cash out right now.
Yeah, and don't cash out by the way, because you're gonna win.
I'm not cashing out. No, I am not cashing out at 39.5. I have no cash out option.
But he doesn't even have a cash out option on his app right now.
I'm looking at the,
Really?
Yep. Oh man. Yeah, I'm oblivious to how that will work.
So I'm going to tweet out that we are live on social.
Okay. All right.
So carry on a conversation. This is the nice thing about Facebook and Twitter and stuff, that it doesn't have to be as polished as, like, if we have a little dead air, like little alarms don't go off, right?
Yeah, nobody's going to find out about it.
No, so I'm going to tweet that out to the world. And if you want to call in, 402-543-5556. I feel like I'm a radio guy with that. 555-6.
Impressed at all with Texas beating up on UTSA? That doesn't matter, does it?
they were trailing earlier. They were struggling.
No.
San Antonio was up on the Longhorns. A&M's up on Miami 17-6.
Really? That, A&M needed to bounce back after the App State loss, right? I mean, that was a bad loss for Jimbo Fisher.
Dude, speaking of App State, holy cow. Now, Travis, you tweeted out that Hail Mary that they ended up winning with tonight.
Yes.
What's the deal with the safety that led to it?
I didn't see that part. All I did was there was a safety that led to the.
Apparently, I saw something on Twitter that said we're not talking enough about the safety that led to App State's chance.
Oh, see, I'm sorry. I don't watch App State football, right?
Neither
and so I watched the Nebraska game earlier. Okay, so hold on. 402-543-5556. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, welcome to the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off on Facebook edition. What's up, man?
I just want to remind everyone, I sat at Jack Trice for like 10 hours, that hellhole a few years ago during all those rain delays. So I think we can stick this one out.
Ryan,
If I had to
thank
go through
you.
that torture chamber of a football game.
I remember that game. I couldn't remember the details of it, which year it was. That game went in because Travis.
2019?
Oh, was it
I believe.
2019? Man, in my head, it was like 6-7 years ago.
No, it was 2019. I'm pretty sure that was the year that at the end of the game, the Cyclones were receiving that punt and they ran into each other, like one of the greatest moments of my life. I think that was 2019. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Ryan, that's so.
It was worth the torture after that happened.
Here's my thought on that, though, Ryan, and this is one of the things we've kind of kicked around is that this situation is different because Nevada's going to have to get on a plane and get out of town eventually. You know, it was a bus that was sitting there for the Hawkeyes to pull out of Jack Trice. At some point, the Nevada AD is going to be doing some math and saying, "Hey, I'm not paying a pilot to sit here till 3 a.m. Let's go." So I'm trying to figure out if the game can actually be considered a completed contest or not. I don't know. New territory, man.
And then one more thing.
Yeah.
I bet a game a couple of years ago. I don't remember. It was like a West Coast game late at night. It got rained out, and all my bets across 3 different apps were refunded when they ended up canceling the game. So I'm hoping that's kind of what happens tonight, or not hoping because I had the under, and it's probably going to hit. But I think that's what's going to happen.
Ryan, I think you need to amend that comment a little bit because a couple of years ago, gambling was illegal in the state of Iowa. So, you mean a couple months ago?
No comment. No,
Yeah.
It was the same year as the Iowa game where I sat there all night. So that was 2019. I was legal.
There you go. Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, it has been legal for. Okay. All right.
No, it wasn't. But thanks anyway.
All right, guys.
Thanks, man.
I'll let you guys keep going.
Appreciate it.
I look forward to listening to the post-game show when the sun comes up this morning.
Thanks,
right.
Ryan. Appreciate it. 402-543-5556, I believe. This is Drew. Drew, welcome to the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off. What's up, man?
What's going on, fellas? Live from DC. Let's go.
What's up, Drew?
Hey, Ross.
How's life, buddy?
So, you know what? It is $29,000 heavier than it was last week at this time. Let's put it that way.
Tell Travis your story, Drew.
All right, Travis. So I am a newly minted Washington Commander season ticket holder.
Okay.
And on September 11th, opening day, happened to win the 50-50, 29 grand.
Wow.
Drew,
29 grand.
29 grand. Yep. That's going to pay off all my student debts, all of my loans, everything, all my debts. Yeah,
Drew's a military guy. That happened to him on 9/11.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
How much did the government take right away?
All of it.
Sorry, 35%.
Oh,
That's not too bad. That's about right.
yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Happy for you, buddy. I'm really happy for you, Drew.
Thanks, Ross. Hey, you know what? And I actually have the over in this game, so if this is a cancellation, it's going to be a win in my book.
You bet the over?
Well, here's the thing, Ross. I'm not in Iowa City. I had no idea about the weather considerations. No idea. So that's on me. That's on me being an amateur gambler.
The weather I can understand not
I know.
knowing. Have you seen the Hawkeyes?
Hey, listen, Ross. Hey, I texted you earlier in the first half. I said Petrus was what? Serviceable, right?
Yeah.
His deep ball looked okay, good, maybe. Like it sure seemed like the trend that way to hit the over. But you know, it's what it is. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah. Again,
I'm
you got
telling you,
$29,000. You're
I
flush
do
with cash.
You got to take our advice and say you bet the under with Iowa till they prove you wrong. And I mean, you got to ride the under the rest of the season, right? That's what I think anyway. But all right, man.
Oh yeah. This was the one get right game, guys. Right? Like if you were gonna hit the over, it was gonna be this one.
Yeah, I don't know if they were going to hit the
But-
over here. There's a reason they were a 24-point favorite and the over-under was 39.5. Just saying.
That is true. Hey, and
But
I only
you know
spent
what?
$40 last week
When you
at
got
the
29
Washington game.
when you got 29 grand in your pocket, you can play stupid bets like that. All right, Drew. Thanks, buddy.
Take
That's
care,
true.
Drew.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
See you guys.
402-543-5556. Let's go to TJ. TJ, welcome to the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off on the Facebook page.
This is so awesome.
Facebook page. What's happening,
What's up,
Travis?
brother?
How you doing, Ross?
Good. Oh, it's Travis.
Doing pretty good. Travis, I'm sorry.
No, and Ross is here
hey.
too.
Three things. Ross, yeah. Three things, guys. One, why is Cooper DeJean not on offense? I just feel like he's a playmaker and our defense is stacked and he's all over the field catching balls on defense. And it's like, man, our offense struggles. So that's my first thing. Second thing, why is the Big Ten West setting football back 200 years? I don't even know how that's possible, but we just are. It's so bad. And the third thing, the Big Ten plays football in Ireland, so I don't care if we wait till 3 a.m. We got to finish this, guys. Just saying. So that's all I got.
Good stuff. Thanks, TJ. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Cooper DeJean, he's going to be, it's DeJean. He's going to be a special defensive back. I said this in one of our Facebook Lives earlier, but he is going to fit perfectly in this line of D-backs that we've had, and cornerbacks specifically, over the last 10 or 12 years. Looks like a kid that's going to walk perfectly into Riley Moss's footsteps, and I'm excited about that. Moving him to offense, I know he's being a little bit facetious there. We have so many guys to try to get involved in the offense right now.
Yeah, the guys that move over from defense to play offense are usually linemen. Right? I mean, that's really where it happens.
Again, Cooper's going to be amazing. He's had a couple balls that have hit him in the hands that turned into passes knocked down, not interceptions. He's going to be great. He's not an offensive guy.
402-543-5556. I mean, we're just doing sound off now, right? I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. Don't be scared. I mean, half you guys call the show anyway. So, and I know, and again, I apologize for a different number.
I just was checking the broadcast there. I still hear Gary talking about stuff.
Yeah, the Big Ten Network has the all-enlightening Ohio State news conference up. You know, you put up that many points, and you just never know what's going to happen, right? I mean, you got to get the latest from Ohio State.
Fireworks have been shot off at Kinnick Stadium. The reason? They were loaded into cannons and had to be shot off before the permit to have them expired.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to blow out the fireworks because our fireworks permit expires at midnight. At 11:59, the fireworks display permit expires.
I love it. I've got a story for you, okay? Do we have anybody that's on hold?
No. So yeah, we'd like people on this. I'm serious. If people don't think this is like a real call-in show right now, it's a real call-in show. The number has just changed because we're running it out of my home studio.
But it's super easy.
It's super easy. It sounds crystal clear. Feel free to call in 402-543-5556.
Take part in this trial experiment with us all. All right, a crazy fireworks story for you, okay?
Okay.
I'm fishing up in Canada, and one of the guys I'm fishing with is a county sheriff from northern Milwaukee or from northern Wisconsin. And he tells me a story about going to his buddy's house. Friend has a big 4th of July party every year out on, again, we're northern Wisconsin, as you know, Travis. This is.
I mean, I lived in when I lived in Wausau, that was considered northern Wisconsin. Now, I mean, you could go up to the Rhinelander area. You go up to Eagle River.
We're in the Rhinelander. They're the county just outside of Duluth.
Okay.
So in way northern Wisconsin.
Okay.
He has a new pickup truck, and he drives to his buddy's party. He doesn't want it to be around all the other, his buddy's pickups. So he parks it like 300 yards away from where everybody else parks their cars. And then he walks across the field to the party. The party starts. They're having fun. And like most 4th of July parties, eventually there's that guy who starts to light fireworks, right? He's handing kids sparklers. He's lighting off a few mortars, and he's kind of having a little bit of reckless fun. He's in the garage and lights a mortar.
I shouldn't laugh.
Nope. And this particular fuse that he lights starts to burn faster than all the other ones he has. And so he realizes, oh, I'm doing a stupid thing. I'm in an irresponsible position. He rushes outside of the garage holding the mortar cannon, sets the tube down on top of a trash can. As he turns and runs back towards the garage, the canister falls over on top of the trash can.
Oh,
It launches the mortar through the back window of the sheriff's new truck. The mortar explodes inside the truck, destroys the pickup. He said when he got in there, he says, I mean, imagine standing there and you watch this happen. You know, your buddy is just, and it shoots off in the wrong direction and it goes through the back window of your truck. So the guy who owns the house calls his insurance company and says, I had this happen at my house. And his insurance company says, your buddy that lit the mortar, he better have a license and a permit to set it off. Otherwise, he's going to have to pay for it.
Dan says, hey, Ross.
Come on, Dan.
Remember driving around shooting bottle rockets and Roman candles out the car window and tossing smoke bombs around the east side?
Hey, Dan. Thanks. Yeah, I do. That was a lot of fun.
DJ says, yeah, here's an idea. Move the game to the practice facility. Features his Heisman caliber there.
You know, I was thinking about this earlier today too, because we've heard the same thing about Alec Wick.
Yeah.
We heard like all fall practice long. It was like, man, this kid's amazing. He's got hands of glue. So yeah, go to the practice facility. That'd be great.
Ryan says, who's the best in the West after today? Minnesota's got his vote.
Ryan, that was the team that we both kind of picked last week when we were doing sound off. We talked about this because the West had looked awful last week too. I think that's a safe bet right now. Don't you, Travis? Minnesota is the one that I would.
Yeah. I had a good conversation with Mitch Sherman. He's a writer for the Athletic, and his choice to win the West even before the season started was Minnesota. I mean, Ibrahim is like the best running back in the country, right? I mean, they got really, and look at all the starters that he has back. I mean, Minnesota is just one of those. It wouldn't surprise me if Minnesota is in Indianapolis come December. 402-543-5556. Again, phone lines are open. And it's not just one phone line. I've got 5 lines. So we can put people on hold. All right. It's
love it. This is terrific.
You know, the interesting here's where I feel sorry for the Hawks. And I'm being dead serious here. If you're Kirk Ferentz, you're hoping to get a decent read on your team. You're hoping to get some information that shows you how much you've grown since last week, what you did right. And I just don't know if there's going to be enough to do that, Ross. I really don't know if there's going to be enough to do that.
I'm with you. And part of it is the fact that you've only played 3 quarters of football, not even. Part of it is obviously the competition that you're playing against. Tony's got something happening here.
Yeah. So if you did wager this game, this would fall under the 12-hour rule. So if they don't complete this game within, so let's say this goes into weather delay.
Oh.
They don't complete within 12 hours, it would go under.
There's a 12-hour rule?
Yeah. So it's like with baseball too. If they like delay a game and they don't finish within 12 hours, it's considered avoided. So you just get your wager back if this game does not continue.
So if they don't finish by 6 a.m., oh my gosh, I just got weak saying that.
From right now, so it'd be 10 a.m.
402-543-5556. Let's go back to the phones. Joe, welcome to the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off on Facebook. What's going on, Joe?
How's it going, boys?
Great.
Calling in a little early here. waiting for you guys to be up till 2 a.m.
You know what? We're knocking it out now. All right. We may just call the bosses and say we've been going live on Facebook.
We're just gonna say replay the hours we did.
What's going on, Joe?
No. Hey, just wanted to ask. I mean, it seems like we're playing a little better tonight, of course, but what's your guys' take on how you think this could play out in the Big Ten? I
Hey,
mean,
real quick,
Can
before
they-
you go on, Joe, another lightning strike.
Wow. So that's
Oh,
another,
great.
they're resetting the half hour.
perfect.
All right, sorry, Joe. What was
No,
Perfect. Perfect.
the thought is, I mean, so Nevada is not a Big Ten defense. When we get to a Big Ten defense and they can stop the run, it feels like the run opens up the other things that helps. So what's your guys' take? Do you think we have anything that we can do against the Big Ten? The run starts it, opens up the rest.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys talk. Be good.
Hey, thanks,
Thanks,
Joe.
Joe.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I mean, let's try to be optimistic here for a minute. Oh my gosh. Okay, Iowa's News Now is reporting that the Hawkeye game has been canceled.
What?
That's one report right now.
We'll keep an eye on this to see what's happening.
But you know what? That would make sense, right?
It absolutely would.
But it can't. Now the big question is the cancellation a no game, a W, or a W, right?
Yeah, does this count as a W for the Hawkeyes? I think is because Travis, listen, as nice as the offense did, looking better in that first half. We did the wins and losses in our last one. We're wondering if this team's going to be bowl eligible, right? So this is important to get to be able to classify this as a W. TJ, we don't know yet. TJ was wondering if the game is canceled. We don't know yet. There is an initial report on Twitter from a news source that says the game is canceled, but a lot of miscommunication can happen in times like this.
Hawkeye Twitter has not said anything yet.
Okay, Hawkeye Twitter is not saying anything about the game being canceled, and I'll keep kind of bouncing in with Gary and Ed too to see if we hear anything from them. All right, let's tackle Joe's question for a minute, and let's just be optimistic for a moment. The running game is going to look better with Gavin Williams. It looks really good with Caleb Johnson. You've got a three-headed monster there now with LaShawn Williams, Gavin Williams, and Caleb Johnson. I again really, really impressed with Caleb and Gavin Williams today. Knowing that they're playing against a bad defense, still looked good. So maybe that's enough. The offensive line looked a little bit better today. It's got to get better though, because it was still getting blown up at times. Had a few nice plays and plays that were getting a lot of push. So let's get optimistic. Let's hope the offensive line continues to improve, gets better, and plays better as a unit. The running game is there. The running game can provide 85 plus in Big Ten play. If those two things are there with a really solid defense that we think as Hawkeye fans is even an elite defense, man, now we're not asking a lot for Spencer Petras, who's got Sam Laporta and he's got Keegan Johnson and Nico Reganey. And he looked better today. Didn't look great, looked better.
402-543-5556. Let's go back to the phones. Justin, welcome to the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off live on Facebook. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, guys? So we're doing Iowa football talk on the Husker feed.
No.
Is that right?
No. No.
Yeah, it said welcome to Doc Talk, right? So when I call the phone.
That's the name of the show that I'm running it through. So that's sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Hey, this
Okay,
is
we'll
awesome.
keep that on the download.
But you know what, Justin? Here's the deal.
I do it.
No, here's the deal. This was a late. I hope you guys enjoy that we're doing it because it's one of those things where
It's awesome.
Cool, brother.
No, it's really cool. But we, it just kind of confirms that you are that Nebraska homer we all thought you were.
Boy, that hurts.
Hey, no,
You
I'm
cut
just
me real
kidding.
deep,
I'm
Shark.
just kidding. I'm just kidding, man. I'm just happy that you're going to make it home before Tuesday. Hey, actually, Chad Lysico just said in his text feed there's no official word that the game has been called.
Okay.
Now, it has come through Facebook on a few different platforms, but there's no official word the game has been called. I was just going to comment, I had a feeling. Now, I know they're playing Nevada, right? And Nevada got run by Incarnate Word, but I felt like, Reganey and Johnson being back in the lineup, Gavin Williams starting. Those are 3 starters that we missed the first 2 games. I really felt that helped everything. Of course, Nevada's defense probably had a big part of that also. But so it was good to see those guys back in there. It was good to see some downfield shots. With Brody Brecht, I think that kid, give him a chance. And when he gets a little more experience there on the field, boy, there's a little bit of optimism here. Not booking tickets to Indianapolis yet, but it was fun to watch.
Justin, couple things. The news source that had reported earlier that the game had been canceled has deleted that tweet. I was listening to Gary while you were talking, and Gary just said they are planning on staying there until and completing the game. Said they are seeing lightning all the way back to Pella from Iowa City. So I think he told the whole story. He said, "Listen, here's what we're seeing. Radar is showing us lightning strikes all the way back to Pella, but our plan right now is to sit here in the booth until this game comes to a completion, and the 30-minute clock is ticking down because they haven't had a lightning strike for a while."
Here's what Lystico said. I know fans have been told to exit the stadium, and some are telling fans that the game is called. There is no such official word. We'll let you know. Best educated guess is that we could resume around midnight or 12:30. Hey, a lot of these guys got used to playing in empty stadiums in 2020. So take that for what it's worth.
All right. Thanks, Justin. Appreciate it, man.
Hey. Yeah, we'll talk to you guys on Monday.
All right. Thanks, Justin.
Justin.
Do you want to call? Do you want to text Lystico, give him the number, and say, hey, you want to call us and give us an update?
Yeah, I'll send him a text.
Yeah. So it's I can tell you the number to call would be 402-543-5556.
Say that one more time for me. 402-543.
402-543-5556. And it's automatic AI call screening. So he can he'll go, Doc Talk. I do other things outside the week, just to let everybody know. But we didn't know this was going to happen tonight. I actually, if I would have prepared, Ross, if I would have known this was going to happen, I could have set up a separate sound off show. I could have set up a 515 number. I could have done it all. Because I'm that
this
talented.
Is awesome. Listen, and people don't even know how quickly we kind of threw this thing together and decided to do this. I mean, it was like we've been on the air for 33 minutes. It was like 35 minutes ago, and you're like, "Hey, should we try to take calls?" And I was like, "Oh yeah."
I actually thought we could have done it when we did the first hour, right? I mean, that would have been maybe something we should have done too. Hey, DJ says you guys are awesome for doing this. DJ, you know what? This is what we do. I mean, and I appreciate that. I really, really do. I mean, that you don't hear it enough sometimes. But yeah, it's I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope you're having fun watching. Tell your friends about it.
All right. Messages off to Chad Lystico. We'll see how that works to get that.
And even if he gave us like 2 or 3 minutes, right? I mean, that would be awesome.
Yeah. We'll see what response we get from that. But
Big Ten Network showing an Iowa story that just showed Nate the Great Stanley. God, I wish we had him back.
I saw a thing that I think it was Murph and Andy did this week, asking if you could get one of these 4 guys back, who would you take back? And it was Ricky, it was Drew Tate, Sean Green, and Tim Dwight was the 4th one. So I thought the obvious answer would have been one of the quarterbacks, either Drew Tate or Ricky Stanzi. I was amazed how many people put Tim Dwight, and then a lot of people were like, well, Sean Green's the obvious answer.
I would probably go with Sean Green. Who would you go?
Really?
Who would you go with?
I would go with a quarterback.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd go with Ricky or Drew, but I feel like they both were that thing.
You wouldn't go with Brad Banks?
Well, he wasn't an option. they both were playmakers, right? That's what the thing we've talked about that's missing from Spencer Petras right now is that ability. And we did see a little bit of it today, right? He had that one play where he rolled out, got out of the pocket, gained a couple of yards, took a big hit on it. That was like one of the first plays of the game, if I remember right.
But now people are throwing names in like Chuck Long. Well, that wasn't an option. And
Right,
that's why
right.
that's why I just brought
No,
up Brad Banks.
But this is a fun thought experiment to have. If there's one player that could change this team this year, if we can just open it up, Travis, and do magic wand stuff.
One player, Stanley, Beathard, Banks, it's a quarterback. A quarterback changes this entire narrative.
Can I convince you that maybe one great offensive lineman would be enough?
No,
It's so okay.
it's the quarterback.
That's okay.
It's
I think I could convince myself that a Robert Gallery that comes in here and is just like an incredibly dominant offensive lineman. I don't know. Is that enough?
Eric says, Trav, I hope you're drinking. Some more F COVID will do. I got some beer the other day, Ross, that's from Wisconsin, and the name of it is F COVID.
What?
But not just, it's really good too. It's a hazy IPA. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
What was the name of the brewery?
Well, I could get up and go look because I've still got a can or two of it over there, but I forget what the name of the brewery is. I might start drinking.
Save one for me when I bring over all the treats that we got today.
What was her name who dropped off the?
I believe it's Christine Knuth Bissinger. Did that. We'll check it out.
Gave me some Lumi that's supposed to make you smell good in the private parts.
Butt not stink, right?
Yeah, make your butts not stink.
I saw a commercial for the first. I saw like the extended commercial today watching the Iowa State game. I saw it multiple times watching the Iowa State game, and it was like, oh yeah, your traditional butt stink after like 10 hours is a 0.5, is like a 5 on the scale, on the stink scale.
Hey, by the way,
it's a 0.
This guy, Ryan points out your offensive lineman theory. You had Linderbaum last year.
Yeah.
Who was the Remington Trophy Award winner, one of the best linemen in the country. And Petras was still not very good last year.
And you won 10 games and made it to the Big Ten championship.
Ooh, there's counter. Touche, my man.
I'm like, if there's one player that could fix this, my pick on the vote was a quarterback over Sean Green, who's an amazing talent. Amazing talent. So I think that the quarterback, having a great playmaker at quarterback would be that important. But I just wonder if you could change those goalposts, if you could do the real magic wand and say one player in Hawkeye history. It wouldn't be Reggie Roby. This is the first time in history we'd say, well, we could do without Reggie.
Hey, punting's winning.
Dude, Tory Taylor's amazing.
And is it blasphemous to say he's a better punter than Reggie Roby?
I don't think so. I mean, you're going to get some Hawkeye fans of a certain age that are going to hear that and scream at the radio.
How
right?
dare you say Reggie Roby not the best punter in Iowa history?
I don't think that generation of Hawkeye fans is listening to us on our Facebook Live here.
You might be right. 402-543-5556 if you want to get in with us and talk with us tonight. Again, we may just do this till we go on the air.
Well, this would be hard.
It would be because the game's got to go finish up yet.
Yeah, that'd be hard. And I would want to watch the game, be able to cut up plays and stuff like that. But yeah, we got to. I almost am feeling right now, and we got to figure out a way how to incorporate this into the show because this is fun. This is a cool thing.
Well, you do it however we wanted. The problem is it's hard to be on the radio and do this at the same time.
Yeah.
Because based on, like, let's use the morning show, for example. The problem is it doesn't work in the morning shows because the lines aren't the same. Like, we're running through one line here.
Yeah.
The video and audio is running all through my space, not the radio space.
Your MySpace page?
Yeah, exactly. Did you ever have a MySpace page?
I didn't. And here's the thing. I remember finding my wife's MySpace page And I was like, who the hell's this Tom? I swear to God, I did that. I was like, what? Who's this guy? He's like one of our favorite friends.
MySpace. I never had a MySpace page either.
I'm going to do some searching here. Hold on. They're doing like highlights on the broadcast right now. So
Really? Of like today's game?
no, I didn't. No, I just heard highlights. So I know that we got plenty of time here to chat.
Justin says, Petras looked sharp, throwing with accuracy today.
Throwing with more accuracy.
51% accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't great. A couple of drops, but more important, like I don't want to pick apart on the completion percentage thing because they were taking shots down the field, man. That's the big thing that we've all been like hoping for and waiting for them to do. They were taking shots down the field, and that was great. And those balls down the field were not off. Like every one of those shots down the field was within, like, what was the word that Drew kept using? Serviceable. They were all in that serviceable range.
Rob says, Travis still had hair when MySpace was a thing.
Not important clarification, Rob. Not his own hair when MySpace was around.
Well, hold on now. What year did MySpace come around?
I'm thinking MySpace was like, I'm going to say 2009 was its heyday. Oh,
Yeah,
Tony gave me a weird look there.
When it was founded?
What was it? When was it founded?
03.
Oh, founded in 03. Does it still exist?
Yeah, my football coach has one.
Eli says his football coach has a MySpace page. That's weird.
Yeah, we asked him if he has
Jason noticed. He goes, because I got the TV back. He goes, your TV's 3 seconds faster than mine.
Yes! Listen to this story. Listen to this story. Travis is watching HD on that TV. Here, I'm going to try to do the blue screen trick. That TV right there.
Yeah.
Travis is watching an HD signal, okay?
On Wi-Fi, by the way.
On his YouTube TV. Now, I'm sitting.
And hold on. And I'm streaming.
Yeah. Yeah, you're streaming. Okay. Now I want to show people what I'm dealing with. I am sitting on the top floor in the corner studio of a multi-billion-dollar media corporation. Okay. I'm watching the game on that standard definition cable television. Now let's watch them closely, and you'll notice Travis's TV's in front of mine. How? How's that? You're seeing it. It's like seconds in front of mine.
And it's HD. Just saying. Just saying.
I'm not angry about it.
No, you're not.
I'm not angry about it.
402-543-5556. He didn't leave a name. Who's calling, man? I know you want to talk about the two deep, right?
This is Pat White in Iowa City.
Hey,
I wanted to see if anybody else noted the first 3 straight weeks, Bo Stevens has been the second team right guard on the two deep. And for 3 straight weeks, he's been the starter.
Huh.
Odd.
That is odd. And sometimes it goes with I don't know if it's the rotation, how they do that.
Yeah.
I would agree with you. That is.
If it's a matchup thing
Yeah.
for some reason, like.
Well, maybe it calls the two deep that they release into its credibility.
Well, that's fair.
A fair point.
That's fair.
Maybe they're just making it up.
Listen, sometimes, the coaches I know would rather not release a two deep. They would rather just say, and they do it for media purposes. And I don't know when the two deep got started and how long they've been doing a depth chart, but most coaches that I know never want to do a depth chart because it just takes more time and it creates more sometimes controversy than what it's worth. Thank you, sir. Thought he had
All right,
more.
all right, so again, we're kind of getting some conflicting reports coming in. Okay.
That was also an Iowa News Now sports guy.
Okay. Jeff Beecham, who's got a blue check mark, he says we're being told to turn in our vests, and security has told us the game has been canceled. But Gary and Ed are still broadcasting and claiming that the game's going to be coming back. So if they're making those moves, the word has not been spread to Gary yet.
Okay. And that wouldn't surprise me. You're coming up on 11:05 right now.
Okay.
You know, the truth is it would not be a Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off if we did not go out to New Jersey.
Oh, John!
John in New Jersey, welcome to the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off Facebook edition.
Guys, thanks for taking my call. You know what? God just decided, 17-0. We got to put the brakes on this. 100 yards. My dad texts me and says we have 100 yards of passing and 100 yards of rushing in the first half. And I said, so what you're telling me is this is what an offense should be all along. And then it's delayed by lightning and weather. I'm laughing. To be honest, guys, the apathy of my loathing for Hawkeye football since I've moved to New Jersey to marry my wife. Whenever the Hawkeyes get to Maryland, Rutgers, or Penn State, those are the three closest chances I have to see the Hawkeyes.
Well, you got him next week,
whenever
bud.
there is basketball or football, I go to see them. But I am not going to spend a dime on this offense. I am not going to Rutgers to see this game.
John.
I did not expect us to be up 17-0. And you guys know I bleed black and gold, and I have been a Hawkeye fan for going on almost 40 years. So I think that this is just God trolling Hawkeye fans. I don't think you're going to see this game resume. It will be canceled and redetermined, and we're still going to have questions, more questions than answers. And unfortunately, I think you're going to see Iowa get upset by Rutgers 24-14 next week in Piscataway. And I hope I'm wrong, but I'm afraid I'm going to be right.
Hope you're wrong too, John.
That's all I got.
I don't. When guys like John say things like that, last week when Anthony called in and said it's time to fire Ferentz, guys, these are bells to listen to. Okay, you might have heard John over the last couple of years and think that he's a little bit too extreme for you or something like that, or
he's just passionate.
Yeah, he's passionate. When he says he bleeds.
Am I still here, guys?
Yeah, you're still here. We're talking to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate that, Ross. I spend hard-earned money, and these Hawkeye fans, and you guys talked about it last week, they spent hard-earned money in an environment where I forgot to say it in last week's call, with Bidenflation, with COVID lockdowns coming back, and people are getting stretched. They put an investment into a product. And when Kirk Ferentz comes out and says, well, we're still going to go with Spencer Petras, and Chad Leistikow, to his credit, I called Leistikow out last week. I'll give him credit this week. He held his feet to the fire and said, 1 touchdown, 9 interceptions in 8 games. And what are you saying when you say the body of work? And Kirk really said, well, you have good points in the presser. And then he was pressed by Leistikow. Well, was this a unanimous decision to stay with Petras as the starter? And he wouldn't answer it. When people are spending hard-earned money to invest in a product when their money is being stretched already to sell out all 7 home games, and you continue to regress from the average with this type of a defense, guys, what you're seeing now, sadly, is we all know that if you followed Hawkeye football back in 1998, a lot of Hawkeye fans were known to say, unfortunately, in Hayden Fry's last year, he left the cupboard bare. The offense now, 23 years later, looks like the cupboard is bare. And that's not.
Hold on, John. I'm going to push back. I'm going to push back on you on that one. I don't.
All right.
I don't think it is as bare as it was in 1999. And Ross and I were just talking about this. The problem, the missing link right now is a quarterback, a playmaking quarterback. The offensive line is not 100% there yet, but I think it can get there. This defense is a lot better than it was in 1999. This is one of the best defenses in the country. You have better skill. You have better skill players right now than you've had in a long time. From wide receiver to running back, Caleb Johnson looks incredible. I think he's the best one. I think he's just got a little extra step, a little something to him. I think right now you're missing a quarterback that can make a play, and that could be the difference this year between 6-7 wins and maybe 9 or 10 wins, is not having the right quarterback to lead you to that, to take you to that next level.
And that's why I said when Hayden Fry left the cupboard bare, I said Kirk Ferentz has left the offense bare, and maybe the offensive. We cannot say that the offensive line as a whole is better than it was 2 or 3 years ago, especially since Chris Doyle left, and especially after you lost Tyler Linderbaum. And maybe part of that is the scheme, because people are loading up the box. Iowa can't run. They know people can't throw. So they're just daring Iowa to actually come up with some offense that'll beat them. And 9 times out of 10 in the first 2.5 games, they're like, unless it's Nevada giving up 2 touchdowns and a field goal in the first half of this game, I don't think that the rest of the Big Ten is worried about when they go up against Iowa. It's just bread and butter, hat on hat, and we'll see how we are as a better team. I would agree with you with some of the skill positions, but do you guys think, and I'll leave you with this and then I'll listen, do you guys think that in an age of NIL, that what is happening with Iowa being the dead last, historically bad in the modern era, total offense in college football to start off the first 2 games, that this is leading to a place where it's not going to have reverberations and after effects for the next couple years? Because my argument would be to you guys, and I want to hear your argument against me, or maybe you agree, when it comes to skill position talent, when it comes to running backs, especially wide receivers and quarterbacks, are we getting to a point now where if we do not see tremendous improvement, and I'm talking about we go from 150 yards of total offense to 350 to 400 yards of total offense in Big Ten play, that this is going to be used in an age of NIL to negatively recruit against Iowa, and you then create a self-fulfilling prophecy of we just dug ourselves a hole we can't get out of. And I'll listen to what you have to say.
Yeah, John, thanks, buddy. I think that last week, Travis and I would have agreed with you on Saturday about the ramifications that this sort of play is going to have on the future. But, man, it hasn't. They landed a dual threat quarterback on Sunday of last week.
Yeah.
Right after having that performance.
Now, that doesn't mean anything because recruiting is a crapshoot.
But let me put it in a stream of other stuff here. We've also said for years, why would a wide receiver come to Iowa? Why? Keegan Johnson's here. Nico Regani's here. Charlie Jones came here and is now playing at a place that's probably going to make him an NFL draft pick. So we're getting really talented kids, really, really talented kids.
By the way, Iowa right now, 206 yards of total offense, right?
Okay.
Meaning if they call the game, it's another game with just 200 yards of total offense, and they're going to really stick at the butt.
Dude, let's say they come back out and we get to play the last 20 minutes of football. How many yards is this team going to put up in the last 20 minutes of football?
No, they're going to try to. It'd be like, let's keep the clock running and get out of here.
Yep. Run left, run right, run up the middle, punt.
Did you hear anything from Lystico at all?
No, I haven't heard anything from Lystico, and I have been keeping an ear on the broadcast while John was talking to us. I tried to listen to Gary and Ed a lot. No, they're giving no indications of a game being canceled. I mean, again, that's on the broadcast right now. So just trying to piece together the information that we're gathering here to give to you.
Gary says, give us Urban. You don't want that. It was weird to watch. Did you watch Fox Big Noon?
Yes.
Did you hear the Nebraska fans chanting, "We want Urban"?
Dude, did you see them try to put the Cornhusker on his head?
Yes. And there were people in the stadiums wearing shirts saying, hire Urban. I'm like, what do you want Urban Meyer for?
Because they want to win, Travis. That's an easy answer. That's a really easy answer. And like, if you are a Huskers fan of morals, then you are absolutely shaking your head no emphatically, like Tony Manning is sitting in here right now. He's going, no, absolutely. Want nothing to do with that guy. We just had John, and I know John didn't mean this, or John didn't mean anything by it, but when John said, look at what's happened with this offensive line since Coach Doyle got let go. I've seen that with a lot of people. Coach Doyle didn't get let go. He got fired. And then he got fired from his next job because of his actions while at Iowa, right? So you got to find out where your morals are, man. And John, I'm not questioning John's morals in any way at all. Again, I know he didn't mean anything by that. I just heard that slip, and I wanted to bring that up in the context of this, because I know a lot of Nebraska fans who would say, absolutely. Would Urban Meyer win at Nebraska, Travis?
It's interesting. Tom Chattel, after the game, Tom Chattel's a writer for the Omaha World Herald, and said the job probably doesn't attract Urban Meyer because it needs a total rebuild.
That's not what yeah. Would Urban Meyer win at Nebraska?
To me, Urban Meyer has won a national title at Florida. He's won a national title at Ohio State. So you'd have to say winning would be a national title. The answer is no.
Yeah, I'm not sure he would win a national title, but I think he'd win the Big Ten West.
Yeah. People say Urban's going to Tempe. You ever checked out the Mill Avenue during the Fiesta Bowl week? Urban would have a blast party in there. Tempe may not be that far off though, because Tempe may be open. Depends on what happens with Herm Edwards. So, a lot of people are clamoring for Mark Stoops, right?
Yeah.
Jason says, "What's a better job for Matt Campbell, Iowa State or Nebraska?" Well, you have to ask the question the right way. Money-wise, Nebraska. I mean, say what you want about Nebraska. When you're the only game in town, there are advantages to that. You're a state of 1.8 million people. You are the only university with a Division I college football. You have an entire state, and you have a pretty darn strong alumni base. And look at this. And I told this to Ross. Money's not an option. Since 2005, they've doled out $50 million in severance pays. That's 50.
For coaches not to coach.
For coaches and athletic directors, $50 million. They just paid Scott. They fired Scott Frost a week ago. If they would have waited 2 weeks, that would have been cut in half. They owe him almost $16 million. It would have gone down to 7.5. They're going to fire Fred Hoiberg in the spring. Okay, I mean, money is not a problem at all. And the next coach, whoever it's going to be, is probably going to make a boatload, because the S storm that you have to take over there. Appreciate, Kirk Ferentz isn't perfect. We give him a hard time about his offense. Runs a damn clean program, and it's pretty steady. And when you see people who just want to win so damn badly and now are close to selling their souls because they want to win so damn bad, right?
You're nailing it, Travis. For Matt Campbell, if Matt Campbell wants to make money, his best bet is to go to Nebraska between those two jobs. If he wants to have a legacy, he stays at Iowa State.
Justin reminded us that Doyle wasn't fired. He was bought out of his contract. That's fair. I always take it as it's one of those settlement things, right? You're going to have to go here. We're going to buy you out. If not, you're really going to get fired.
His actions made him lose his second job.
Well, here's the deal. I think Urban Meyer would have kept him on if people wouldn't start complaining.
This is the point I was trying to make. It's almost ironic that he would clarify that. Trying to defend or wash away what Doyle did is ridiculous, guys. It's ridiculous. And to even, I mean, like, I think you have to walk on eggshells to even bring up the, wow, were we a better team with that guy? Man, look at how many you are a Hawkeye fan. You're cheering for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Guys that went to that university that you cheered for, that went there for 5 years and busted their ass for this football team that we are going to be up past midnight talking about. Some of those guys stepped up and said, hey, this guy was bad news, man. This guy was saying and doing some bad things.
Suppose Doyle being gone is why our O-line is soft this year. I don't remember the O-line being this bad. Hey,
I've heard that a lot, Travis.
I wouldn't even disagree with that.
I can't. I mean, does it line up that a couple years ago when Doyle left that the offensive line has been taking steps back? Yep.
Eric says Leipold bumped his stock with the 3-0 start at Kansas. Dude can develop. Hey, I've known Lance Leipold for almost 22 years. No, 20 years. He was the running backs coach at the University of Nebraska Omaha. Then became the offensive coordinator. I've known him since he was a young and the dude. And actually, I texted him tonight. I said, "Dude, you probably don't even look at your own phone anymore because you're that big of a deal." But it's happening to one of the nicest guys in college. And what a success story, right, Ross? You started a Division II school. You go be a head coach at a Division III school. At that point, you're probably thinking, I'm never going to live those Division I dreams. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, somebody from Buffalo says, hey, you want a job? You're doing a really good job.
And he runs with it, and he takes every opportunity, and now he's at a great place.
Dane says, are you still on the air? What do you mean? We're not on the radio. We're full on YouTube and Facebook tonight. Full on YouTube and Facebook, but we're making it a little bit easier. Now we have a 402 number for this show, but it's a 402-543-5556 if you want to talk about the Hawks or if you want to talk about anything. I mean, we really, you can throw a subject at us. We'll have an opinion about it. Right, Ross?
Yeah, absolutely. So your opinions.
Are you monitoring the radio feed now? What are you doing?
Yeah, I am. That's what I'm reaching over there to kind of hit that cue speaker because I just want to hear what Gary and Ed are talking about during the while they're on the air. And they're just kind of reminiscing and sharing stories right now. Tony's got something for us.
Hawkeyes have just tweeted that they are still in a delay.
Okay.
They are still in a delay. Interesting.
So as of now, the game is still on.
So, yeah. So 5 minutes left in the third quarter. If they were to come back out right now, we're still looking at a solid hour of football.
And a solid hour of postgame.
Probably. I should have drank coffee. No, I can't drink a coffee now.
Well, you can drink the decaf, but what's the point, right? It's kind of like non-alcoholic beer. What's the point?
Does decaf have no caffeine?
Yeah, that's why it's called decaffeinated. It's uncaffeinated.
Megan Puffer. What a great name. Megan Puffer. Isn't that a great name?
It's a good name. I like how she spells Megan. She's got two interesting things in that Megan.
Is it Megan or is that Megan?
Meghann. I almost feel like Megan might be German. Scandinavian.
That's the Scandinavian spelling of Megan.
I don't know. It's exotic. I like it.
Megan says if they wait an hour, they're going to be in the all clear.
I'll trust Megan.
My wife's like 3 sheets to the wind, and she's not 3 sheets to the wind. She's like really tired, but my voice is here. You can just hand it to me. She's looking at me like I'm crazy.
Is she drunk or not?
No, she's not drunk. Well, she's punch drunk right now. She goes, I haven't had anything.
You went from my wife's 3 sheets to the
Well,
wind.
she walks in. She's like, I'm like, look at then it hit me. I text her and said, could you bring me a water? And it hits me that she's probably been sleeping for the last hour and a half.
Let's just recap. You woke your wife up, asked her to bring you water.
Yeah.
You woke up, brought you water. You assumed she was drunk.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she pointed out real quickly that she wasn't.
We should circle back to that thing a couple of hours ago where you don't deserve your wife. You don't deserve her.
You're probably. Oh, by the way, hold on. Oh, where'd it go?
Uh-oh.
Irish and German.
See, Irish is in my mind. I was thinking Icelandic.
I like it.
Everybody's saying I should have got a beer.
Man, I couldn't do that. See, the beer would keep me up too.
A beer would keep you up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, something's happened with the drinking. Not much of a drinker anymore.
I'm kind of with you. I had some wine last night.
Yep.
But I don't drink that much anymore. Usually beer on Sundays. That's about it. So
still nothing, Tony?
No update yet. No.
Okay. No updates.
My thing is, we've always prided ourselves on doing sound off no matter what. Does this count? I think it does.
In whose eyes?
Our bosses.
No.
Yeah, you know why? They're like, you've gone now 2 hours on Facebook and there hasn't been a commercial anywhere.
Nope.
Doesn't count. Wow. All right. I thought it would.
I mean, listen, they also don't want to pay us for this many hours either. So
yeah.
And I know what I can make assumptions about what my bosses would think all day long, but I don't think they want me to do that.
Probably.
No.
Are people done calling in? Is it too late for people to call in at 402-543-5556?
Maybe.
Yeah. Because it's easier for people to just write, right? I mean, let's go to a YouTube comment. So what's the narrative now with the offense? I still ain't buying this offense. I'm with you. I'm not buying either. If I'm buying or selling, I'm still selling, man. I'm not buying right now.
Absolutely right. Yeah, there's no way. And today Hayden, I would run today through a couple of different filters, right? The biggest one being the competition was awful. Nevada's one of the worst teams in college football. And against one of the worst teams in college football, you managed 206 yards in 3 quarters of football. That continues to keep you dead last in the nation in offense against 3. I don't want to say that. Against 2 bad defenses. You've played 2 bad teams. And South Dakota State's not bad in their own division, but in the grand scheme of college football and Division I and who the Iowa Hawkeyes are going to play and who other Division I teams have played, They've played 2 bad defenses in Nevada and South Dakota State, and we're the worst offense in the country. Hayden, you absolutely should not buy into this offense.
Yeah. If there's a player you're buying right now, I'm buying Caleb Johnson.
Yeah,
I like
after today's touchdown run today, that was a great one.
Yeah.
I'd still be buying Sam Laporta.
Yeah.
I'm buying Keegan Johnson coming off the injury. I like the fact that they were trying to get the ball to Brody Brecht a couple times. Maybe that's a name to see if he's more involved.
So apparently Gary just said on the radio, team's still in the locker room, still hoping to finish the game. Earliest start 12:30.
Well, why would they say an hour from now? Why would they say the earliest restart?
Because there's still a sell. Remember the Megan said earlier, if you wait an hour, you're going to be in the all clear.
And I said I'd trust Megan,
who's Irish and German.
Bet she can drink.
Oh, you know it. You think you drink Jameson or beer?
Both.
Really? Huh. A lot of people buying Cooper DeJean right now.
Oh, that's a great name to throw. Great name on the buy sell list. Yeah. Yep.
Who you selling?
Spencer Petras.
Okay.
Probably going to sell for the rest of this year, Alec Wick. Probably going to sell for the rest of this year. Well, trying to think who else in that receiving core is going to lose out. Because you bring Keegan back, you bring Nico back. If they start to throw the ball to Brody Brecht, then Arlen Bruce is going to be one of the odd men out. So I'd say those are the names that I would sell on right now. Defensively, nobody. Defensively, I think that this group is as solid as advertised.
A lot of people are selling Brian Ferentz.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, if we can do the coaching staff, I'm selling almost everybody except for LeVar Woods.
By the way, people are buying Tory Taylor. They're going to take him. They're going to buy Tory Taylor.
Absolutely. Fans are coming back into Kinnick Stadium. We get to play some football.
How long of a show do we do if we go on the radio? Like an hour?
Probably.
I mean, we just did it. We're on an hour and 13 minutes right now.
Holy cow, we are. So now we've done 2 hours of live radio, which essentially on the sound off WHO clock, that's like a 4-hour show.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Based on the clock?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's explain that to people.
Because in a 60-minute hour, we have news, we have weather, and then we go on at about 8 minutes after the top of the hour. 6 to 8 minutes after the top of the hour. Okay. Well, then we go to a break at 15 at the quarter. That break lasts 3-4 minutes. Then we go to a break at the bottom of the hour and we have news and we have more spots. That's another break that's 3 or 4 minutes. So now all of a sudden we're at 34 minutes past the hour and we've already had 16 minutes of fluff. So Travis and I have been on the air for about 16 minutes of those 32.
Every hour you're looking at about 32 minutes of content.
32 minutes of content an hour, Tony says.
Roughly.
Wow. 402-543-5556. Let's go back to the phones. Who's this?
This is Asa in Pleasantville, Iowa.
What's going on, man?
Well, I can give you a traffic report here in Pleasantville. The roads are clean here, just a little bit lightning within 8 miles, so we might have to call the game again. I don't know.
man.
Love it.
But no, we're seeing these replays of Reggie Roby on the Big Ten Network and the weather delay. Ross, I can't believe you're disrespecting Reggie, a legend like that. I mean, come on. Have a little respect here.
Yeah, Ross. Why do you got to hate Reggie Roby?
It's a generational thing.
No, must be. Hey, I'm in that younger generation too, so I never saw Reggie Roby. But just, the offense is always the discussion, but the defense again, unbelievable tonight. 0 points, and I don't think Nevada would score a point. They're facing 3rd and 22 if we start at 12:30 or 12:30 a.m. now. So if we do start again, they're facing 3rd and 22. They're not going to score tonight. But this offense, you guys said it last week. Even if we're ranked dead last in FBS in offense, even if we were middle of the pack, we'd be a top 25 team and another Big Ten West contender. But we're not there. I mean, Purdue lost again today at Syracuse. Not the easiest place to play at the Carrier Dome, but still not a terribly tough opponent. The Big Ten West is there for the taking, but I'm afraid with this offense, we're just not going to be there. What do you guys think?
Do you really think it's there for the taking? I know it's not a great division, but I don't look at it as I saw something the other day, like Iowa still, or before the Oklahoma game, Nebraska was still like the in the ESPN tracker. Nebraska was still like the odds-on favorite to win the West. I'm like, what are people watching? I don't get it.
Perfect. I mean, Travis, listen.
But Ross,
I think that you're
Travis, Northwestern lost to Southern Illinois.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the Big Ten West is up for the taking, and I think it's fair to say that this Hawkeye team, if the offense could figure out what's wrong with it, and the defense is good enough, they absolutely could win this Big Ten West. I think that's a fair statement to say the Big Ten West is up for the grabs and up for taking, because I mean, Travis, we even earlier trying to predict who's the pony right now, who's the team that you would say is going to win that Big Ten West. It's tough. We both think it's probably Minnesota, but there's some stuff there. So I think it's fair to say.
Well, that's okay. I think it's Minnesota. I do.
I agree. Minnesota today, Ibrahim had his 40th career rushing touchdown.
Wow.
So they have Fleck is rowing the boat up there. He's kind of building a mini Iowa, unfortunately. But Wisconsin, I think they're on the way down. Iowa, we'll see. But Minnesota, I think, is the team to beat. You're exactly right.
When Ibrahim got hurt last year, that was a huge – I mean, they went through a lot of stuff last year. That was a huge loss for them. Having him back another year, healthy, it's a good team. Thanks for the call.
Good stuff, man.
Thanks, guys. Love what you do.
Thanks no problem, man. All we do is talk for a living. That's all we do. Have a little bit of fun. Sarah says Nevada's Twitter said game going to start at 10 Pacific. That's midnight Central.
What time is that in Omaha?
Oh. The timeline is about 4 hours away. It's right by North Platte. You ever ate at Ole's Big Game Bar and Grill?
No, but it sounds like my type of place.
Oh, you would love it. So Ole back in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. He's from I think it's Paxton, Nebraska. He'd go on the safaris. And you go into Ole's now and you got polar bears, you've got everything he's killed is in there. I'm not kidding. It's like it's a taxidermy museum is what it is. You'd be sitting there eating your chicken fried steak and it'd be a panther looking at you.
My neighbor's a big game hunter. My neighbor goes to Africa, comes back with a crate full of heads. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh man. Yeah.
All right, ready for some midnight football?
That means we got another phone call coming in.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah, well, it's got a screen. So it goes through this auto screening process. So where it says, hey, welcome to the show. Leave your name, what you want to talk about.
This is awesome. I love it.
I shouldn't be showing this technology because I'm going to eliminate somebody else's job at the radio station.
Tony's looking, Tony's going.
Tony's like, what?
Yeah, it's my job. That's my job. Computer's doing.
Justin Miller on the Morning Rush, like, well, hold on for a second. What am I going to do? Oh, they just hung up. They skipped the auto screen. So, and here's the deal. So you need to understand, I'm using this technology when you call. And the technology, so it's all automated. But my show here is called something else. I didn't have time. Ross and I made a pivot. All right. We said, okay, how can we make this more engaging? How can we make it more fun? And so I said, well, we can start taking phone calls. I have some stuff set up in my own studio where we'll be able to do this. Well, I do some stuff, some other things, and the show is tied to that. And so you might call and say, hey, welcome to Doc Talk, which is a podcast that I do. And so that can throw you off. And I didn't want that to throw you off, but I think it has several people because people have hung up. They're like, or they just don't want to talk to a machine. Just to let you know, when you go to like McDonald's now, you're talking to a machine. The person who, it's not the person at the window going, hey, welcome to McDonald's. It's an automated voice that says, welcome to McDonald's. How can I help you?
Yeah, Panda Express does that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've been to Panda Express for a long time.
Oh man, if you ask my kids where they want to eat, Panda Express is the first choice they have.
Really? It's too clean of a Chinese restaurant.
When you pull up there, it says, hi, welcome to Panda Express. Would you like to try our pan-fried whatever? And it's like a recorded voice. And then you say, no, I'll take the, and then it's a totally different person that comes on. Did you say Coke? Oh man, we're having that nice voice.
See, Panda Express is like too clean of a Chinese restaurant. I've always thought the dirtier the Chinese restaurant, the better the food tastes. Yeah. Is that bad?
No. Have you ever cleaned a wok?
Yeah. No, not really.
No, you've never cleaned a wok because you're not supposed to clean a wok.
You're not supposed to clean the wok. Just supposed to leave
you're not supposed to like scrub them clean. You know what I mean? You want them to get that flavor in
seasoned, right?
Yeah, they want to be seasoned. That's the word for it.
Seasoned. Yeah. I think Jason's on his second call. Jason, welcome to the Jethro's Barbecue.
It is the second call. Hey, you were talking about a robot talking to you at McDonald's.
Yeah.
I went to a pizza ranch in Ankeny, and they actually had a robot that drove around to the restaurant, and people put the empty dishes so they could get rid of the person that goes around the tables.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you walk up to it, it'll say, hello, excuse me.
Are you serious?
It's dead serious.
At a pizza ranch in Ankeny?
Yep.
Wow.
Man, I'd go find out if I could.
I kid you not.
Well, all I know then, if nobody's busting my table, I'm not tipping.
You usually don't at a buffet.
Oh, no, because if you go through now, be careful on that because they'll ask you if you pay before the buffet if you want to leave some money. And I have no problem with that. But if people aren't going to bust my table, why would I tip? Anyway, thanks.
Well,
Jason.
you do live in a gated community.
No, that's Ross, not me.
Anything's possible. No, we already learned that on the morning show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jason.
You got it right, Jason.
Have a good one, guys.
Hey.
I live gated community adjacent.
402-543-5556. Who's this?
This is Megan Puffer.
Megan!
Yeah. And Ross, we talked about your gated community this summer at a Little League All-Star game.
I remember you, Megan. Yes, thanks for calling in.
Hold on, Megan. How do you spell your name again?
Meghamm.
Puffer. What a great name.
Yeah, well, that's my married name, so my original name is not that exciting. But
what's your maiden name?
White. Actually, my dad called in earlier, so we're trying to keep you guys rolling tonight.
Thank you for that.
It's just nonstop Travis and Ross is what it is.
So my thought is the way Petrus has played tonight or tomorrow or whatever, is the heat off for a week or no?
No.
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 I mean, I think the Heat has been.
He had some good throws.
Hold on. The vocal heat, people will retreat a little bit from throwing the daggers, but they're not retreating that far. They're just reloading the ammunition.
Yep.
That's probably a really bad analogy, not politically correct, but I don't really care.
Yeah, it's almost midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
Megan, I agree with that. I think that the noise is probably turned down a little bit. Maybe even not so much because he did well tonight, because he did better. He wasn't fantastic, but he did better. I think the noise kind of gets turned down because people are just tired of beating their head against the wall. You know, we know that screaming and yelling about it the last couple of weeks didn't do anything. And he certainly didn't do anything today to lose his job, or yesterday, or whatever we're calling it, right?
He put some passes out there that should have been caught.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. Even his stat line, which isn't that impressive, should have been more impressive because there were a few balls that were in receivers' hands. Again, more impressive than anything is the fact that they went down the field and he was putting those balls in catchable places. And that's what we've all been looking for and waiting for.
I still don't like his long ball. I don't. It's not a pretty ball. A lot of air underneath.
Looked a lot better today.
You think so?
Oh yeah, Travis. They were catchable balls.
Catchable, but God, I know he can throw it 80 yards, but there's not much zip on it, man.
But that's better than what it had been, and that's what. Yeah. It was an improvement. It's not great, no way. It's an improvement.
Megan, thanks for the phone call. Game starts at midnight.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good night.
She said good night. Do you think she's going to bed? Or do you think she's going to watch the rest of the game?
She's going to watch the rest of this game. They're going to be kicking off or snapping the ball here in about 15 minutes. I'm hoping.
You're hoping.
Never know. Never know. Tony hasn't said the lightning word again.
And he better not, right?
No, he better not. He better not.
I'm kind of a multi-purpose producer. Have you noticed? I'm doing graphics, all this stuff as we go along.
Well, it's been fun. This was awesome. Glad we did this.
Let's see if I got any more comments coming in. Yeah. To judge the long ball, you must first throw one. He unleashed it tonight in comparison to the first two games. That's fair. I'll give you that.
Oh, they're coming back out, Trav.
There they are. They're coming back on the field.
Well,
Nevada, are they? Yes. No, they're going back in.
Wait.
No, these are just like.
Oh, that's just no.
Guess
That's
what, guys. We are now in front of Travis. You're going to get a picture of the lightning bolt over the water tower, huh?
Wow. How did that happen?
I don't know. Media, cable, science, whatnot.
There's like nobody in. Now they're saying 11:55.
Okay, so we're 6 minutes away from getting going here. Good deal.
All right, so we're gonna wrap things up. We're probably not gonna come back on after the show or after the game. Let us get ready for
at this point.
Yeah, right now that means we're probably gonna go on the air about 2 a.m. Unless Tony makes a phone call and we find out we're not supposed to. I don't know what we're supposed to do, but we're here.
We were supposed to be on till 1 a.m.
Yes, we were supposed to be on the air by now.
Yeah.
So, well, hold on. Look at this, though. Thank you both. Watching from Colorado. You make my late Saturdays awesome.
Odd and Wendy, thank you. Thank you for saying that. It means a lot. Honestly, this thing has been fun. This is something that like it a lot.
Ryan says, will you come on if we lose? You're not going to lose. Promise you that.
Not losing.
You're not losing. There's no way you're losing this game. Not a chance. All right. So he's Ross Peterson. I'm Travis Justice. We will be back on News Radio 1040 WHO after the game. I have a feeling I have a feeling, Ross. Well, poor Ed. He I can't believe he's going to get back on the radio. He hadn't been up this late in a long time, I bet. But they're going to try.
Listen, he made a stop over at Bud and Mary's. Got him some sativa. He's going to be just fine. Okay.
What was it was called again?
Sativa. So
how do you know? How do you know what that's called?
Because I pay attention to the commercials.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I just hear him say, "Just go to Bud and Mary's for the weed."
Oh, is that all he says?
Yeah.
Oh.
When you want good weed, go to Bud and Mary's. Isn't that what it says? That's what I hear in my head. When you want good weed, go to Bud and Mary's.
I hear indica in the couch.
Oh, all right. Turn the game back on. It's going to be on with Gary and Ed on News Radio 1040 WHO. And we'll be on, who knows what time we're going to go on. For the Jethro's Barbecue Sound Off on News Radio 1040 WHO.